Already you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. Now, why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? Thank you. Really appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anybody's got anything to say, please feel free, fire away. Plus, instead of me just like rambling on for half an hour, 40 minutes or whatever, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. And a little note here, a little side note. I'll be going live from Sunday to Thursday. Friday, I'll be on vacation for 7-8 days or so. My wife and I, we're going to be going down visiting some of her relatives in North Carolina and South Carolina. So I will be off for about a week. But when I come back, it'll just be, when I come back, it's going to be just about ready. It's almost training camp. We'll be here when I come back. So just a little side note, that's all. Then also, before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link in the description box. Takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group, and I say this in every video, right? Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page, it's all called the same thing. It's all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, it dumbs it down for a moron like me. I can remember. It's not like, what's my channel called? What's the Facebook page? Is that called different than the group? It's all called the same thing. Right? As I said, it dumbs it down for me, so that way I can remember. But in the group, we just hit the 4,000 member mark. So we're doing just lovely, simply lovely. And usually what I do is like once I get done going live here, I'll spend like the next couple of hours just putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll go over in a minute. And I try to get to like 10 things or so every day in there, whether it's a video, I'm sharing an article, something shows a post, a picture, just something that shows some stats on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, by the way. But if you become a member, not only do I post stuff in here, but the members post stuff in here as well. So, every day, 7 days a week, there's a ton. Even when I'm going away for a week, I won't be going live, but I will be posting stuff in the group and in the page on a daily basis. So that won't change at all. The second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. All right, I'm the administrator in it, so I'm the only one that posts anything in it, but that's the page called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. What do we got? We have 2,000 likes. Yes, we just hit that very recently. It was like past day or two we hit that, and we're over 6,500 followers. Page is really doing good. I absolutely love it. That's really taken off. But it's the same thing. Once I get done going live, I put some, I try to get up to 10 things in the group and 10 different things in the page every day. As I said, once again, whether it's a video, I'm sharing an article that somebody else wrote, whether it's a post, a picture, just something showing some stats on a ball player. Once again, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites. I try to get as much stuff in there as I can every day. Once the off season is a little difficult sometimes, but Once the regular season starts rolling around, which will be in a couple, training camp and all, there's a ton of stuff going in there. It's easy, to get a ton of stuff going in there every day. And I don't commingle with stuff. So basically, for the most part, whatever I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever the articles and everything I put in the group, I don't put in the page. Unless, I see something that really makes fun of the Eagles, right? That's why I get up. That's why I breathe in the morning, right? That's why I exist on this planet, to make fun of the Philadelphia Eagles. If I can do that, I just got to share that with everybody. So, if I see something that really makes fun of the Eagles, I might put that in the page and in the group. But other than that, I try to keep stuff separate. But like I say all the time, right? If you go to the group and you become a member and you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, 7 days a week, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day, 7 days a week. Like I said, even when I'm on vacation, I'm still going to be putting stuff in there. And I said, once again, if you go to the page and you like it, you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back, guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, let's say I have so many. There we go. So many tabs opened up here. All right. So it is from Fansided G-Men HQ, 5 most underappreciated New York Giants of all time. Pretty close, but it's very, everybody, will have their own list. But this is by James Nolan. Looks like he wrote it yesterday. So his first one is Shaun O'Hara. Yeah. Okay. All right. As I said, it's all up to the eye of the beholder, shall we say? But I haven't, honestly. I can't say I've sat down. Let me sit down, Jeff, and let me think about the 5 most underappreciated. I haven't done that. That would probably hurt my brain. I'd actually have to start thinking there, and that's not good for me. But when you got Shaun O'Hara, all right. That's, if he thinks that, that's fine. That's fine. Because, as we see, right, it's one of those things you don't appreciate it, okay, until you ain't got it, right? You don't appreciate a center until what? Until you ain't got one. And how long have we, had a center, here, with Jalapeno, and then for a year or so. Of course, he got hurt, and Rick Berg and Weston Rick Berg, or it just Feliciano, and just guys keep coming and going and going, and Price, right, Nick Gates, and just on and on and on and on and on. The revolving door. We get one guy in there for a year, then we get another guy in there for another year, then we get another guy in there for. It's like, what is what's going on there? We can't get a center, really. Of course, we've had centers. They've all, they've done, admirable jobs and all. But why can't we get a center that we can just? And once again, you don't appreciate it till you ain't got it. Why can't we get a center and just, there you go, brother. We'll see you in 10 years. Good luck, right? Why can't? I don't understand. It's not. We're not asking for a. And I get some of them. Guys get hurt and all, and that's part of the game. And let's hope Michael Schmitz does not. Hope that guy doesn't even ever stub his toe. But this is football, and we're talking to New York Giants, and things like that happen. So, but it's not like we're asking for, why can't we get a Hall of Fame quarterback? Why can't we get the greatest wide receiver ever on a team? It's a center. It's, one of the least, I guess, I don't know if you want to put valued, quote unquote valued positions, but why can't we get one? But so, then you go back to Shaun O'Hara, right? Go back to him, back into the, and unfortunately for him, I think 2010 was his last season. Unfortunately, but it was just injuries and whatever caught up with him. So unfortunately, he did not. Kevin Boss. We had the B&B Music Factory. We had Kevin big old butt Booth, and we had Kevin Boss in there. I think Booth was a guard and Boss was the center. for the 11th season. But I mean, that was not a very good offensive line. I mean, we couldn't run the ball. But I mean, Eli literally picked the team up. You know, he got every square inch of his back. The team, all right, guys, we're going this way. Super Bowl's that way. Let's go. All right. I'm carrying this. And that's what Eli pretty much did. Our running game was not very good that year. I don't remember what we gave up as far as sacks and all that stuff, Aaron, but thank goodness for Eli Manning. I mean, you can say a lot of bad things about Eli. I mean, I'm not, but I mean, a lot of the naysayers do. If you're not a Giant fan and this, that, and the other things, as far, I mean, basically, if we didn't win a Super Bowl, we didn't win a playoff game, basically, right? And then you figure the last however many years he was there, he only took us to the playoffs one time, and this, that, so you can say a lot of negative things about him, but I mean, there was 2 magical seasons there. In 2011, he carried the team. But with Shaun O'Hara, I mean, once again, you don't appreciate it until you don't have it, right? So it says Shaun O'Hara only played 7 seasons, only, but I mean, you realize he only played 7. That's all he did, but he played center. I mean, what have we had? 38 centers in the past 7 years. I mean, you realize how magical it was just to have the guy there for 7 seasons. We were lucky enough to have the guy for 7 seasons. But he made a significant impact during those years. The stud center rarely missed time during his stint in New York, as he started all 16 games 4 times and only missed 1 game in 2006. He was selected to Pro Bowls 8, 9, and 10 toward the end of his career. Not only was the New Jersey native selected to multiple Pro Bowls, but he also played a huge role in the 2007 Super Bowl season. Without O'Hara, the Giants might have not won the title. Almost all NFL fans remember the helmet catch by David Tyree, and that doesn't happen unless the Giants center didn't pull a desperate move out of his back pocket. Richard Seymour and New England Patriots defensive line were bringing pressure to Eli. Yeah, but he even if you listen to O'Hara, even he said that they didn't do a good job of picking the stunt up. So O'Hara realized that the hell Manning was being put through by the undefeated defense, and he was determined to protect his quarterback at all costs. When Manning was scrambling to find someone open, O'Hara was there to help him find some extra time. It was one of the countless memorable plays he recorded for the team. But I mean, I remember him saying distinctly, I think it was that play that they didn't do a good job of picking that up. Number 4. Jeremy Shockey. That's a good one. That's a hard to argue with this one. One of the most polarizing players in franchise history is Jeremy Shockey. Giant fans either love him or hate him. 0 in between. The former first-round draft pick was a beast on the field with New York, as he recorded over 4,200 yards during his time in East Rutherford. Shockey ending up leaving after the 2007 Super Bowl victory, as the front office felt his skill set was no longer needed after not participating in the championship. This left a sour taste in his mouth. Kevin Boss ended up proving to be good enough replacement, but Shockey's elite numbers can't be ignored. No, and he went to the Saints, and he got himself another Super Bowl ring, so good for him. Now, the ending wasn't great, but he exploded onto the scene in his rookie season as he tallied 894 receiving yards in 2002. He instantly became a fan favorite, which is why it's so unfortunate his legacy in New York was halted a bit. The star tight end constantly provided the energy on and off the field for New York. Many fans had memories of Shockey getting into the opposing team's face, as he was always looking to gain an edge of the opponents in any way possible. If it weren't for a broken leg in Week 17 of the 2007 season, Shockey's legacy in New York could have been completely different. Yeah, that was a shame. Yep, against Washington. The Redskins, yes, as they were known back then. Whether you love or hate his off-field antics, where this is absolutely no denying that on the field, this guy was a beast. Oh, yeah. My God, it is Chase Blackburn. There you go. Well, I mean, he did have that interception, right, against the Gronk, right, in the 2011 Super Bowl. One of the most impactful Giant defenders in franchise history. Is Chase Blackburn. One of the most impactful Giants defenders? Yeah, really? Yeah. Okay. After going undrafted in the 2005 NFL Draft, the middle linebacker signed with New York and spent 8 seasons there. 2011 squad needed him badly as he picked off Tom Brady in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, going up against Gronkowski. Let's see. Says, but also here you got this, the Los Angeles Rams have hired Chase Blackburn to be their special teams coordinator. Good for him. Now, when you look at his career stat line, nothing jumps off the charts. The clutch moments, though, they were there for sure. He was mostly the leader of the special teams, being named captain of the squad in 2010 by his teammates. Now, he may not have the numbers that others have on this list, but he does have 2 rings. Yes, he does. He also is a leader on and off the field, which proves that he's one of the most unappreciated New York Giants in team history. All right, hold on. I want to see who number 1 is. Underappreciated. Yeah. Okay, you got me. Okay. All right, so number 2. I don't know. See, this one kind of goes both ways. I mean, the one they have number 1 is, I don't know. To me, he was appreciated, but I guess some people could see he was unappreciated. So this guy here, this is my number 1 guy, because their number 1 guy I have as appreciated. I appreciate him, but this guy we don't know. We don't realize how good we had it with Tiki Barber. Can someone please explain to me why Tiki Barber is in the Hall of Fame? I mean, the guy has like over 15,000 here, 10,000 yards rushing, over 5,000 yards receiving. I mean, final 3 seasons of his career, he had back to back over 2,000 yards of total offense in his final. And I think his final season, he led the league in total yards from scrimmage, and he retired. I mean, if he played a couple, the only thing that pissed me off is that, if he thought, if he played a couple more seasons and got another couple thousand more yards, he would have had like, close to, 17, 18,000 yards between rushing and receiving. And it would really be hard to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. But he thought it was time for him to hang it up and everything. And, you can't blame the guy. I mean, I think he played, 10 seasons, I think it was. He was a running back for 10 seasons. He certainly could have played a couple more years, but he thought it was time to hang it up. So that's what he wound up doing. Now, I know that the year after he retired, the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. That's the other thing. If he hung in there for one more season, he probably would have had close to about 17,000 all-purpose yards, and he would have had a Super Bowl victory. Now, would he have been in the Hall of Fame then? It's kind of tough to keep him out, right? He would literally carry the team at points. And yes, he did. And it's just bad luck he retired a season too early. Yep. His numbers are insane. Barber put up at least 1,200 rushing yards in each of his last 5 seasons. Before hanging up his cleats, he tallied 1,622 rushing yards. I didn't even mention his receiving stats yet. The 3-time Pro Bowler had 6 seasons with at least 500 receiving yards. Barber ranks first in rushing yards for the Giants with 10,449. Second on that list is Rodney Hampton with less than 7,000. Not only is the former Virginia Tech running back one of the best running backs in Giants history, but he's also one of the best players. He was a complete back and for sure would have made the road to the 2007 Super Bowl much easier if he stayed. Not everyone works out the way we want. Everyone works out the way we want it to, though. But Barber was undoubtedly an animal on the field. 2005, Barber put up a case for the NFL MVP awarded, but finished 4th in that voting that year. His numbers certainly screamed MVP as he rushed for 1,860 yards and had 530 receiving yards. On top of all that, he recorded 11 total touchdowns. He's a New York legend, no doubt about it. His numbers is just, especially his last 3 seasons, were just unbelievable. And then he retired. Unbelievable. All right, so now they're number 1 guy here. All right, most underappreciated, and I guess to some extent you could say, some people, not to me, I appreciate him, but they say Eli Manning. All right, Eli Manning may not be underappreciated by all Giants fans, which is me. I certainly try to think I appreciated him, But there are some who believe he wasn't all that. In reality, he gave this franchise something every quarterback strives to do: Lombardi trophies. Yeah, longevity, consistency, right? Lombardi trophies. The same guy on the same team, same guy under the center for however many consecutive games and all that, right? So his career record as a starter isn't beautiful, but the organization didn't really build the best team around him during his last few seasons. For his career, Manning went 118, posting a 500 career record in the regular season. The end of his Giants career wasn't pretty, and a lot of that had to do with the terrible offensive line. In 2018, he was sacked 47 times, yet he still managed to complete 66% of his passes and throw for almost 4,300 yards, which is crazy. To say Eli was a system quarterback doesn't make much sense, as 2018 is a prime example. Playoff time was Eli time. He finished with a career record of 8-4, record in the postseason. Now, the thing is that, basically we went to 6 postseasons, I guess. I mean, because he either won the Super Bowl or he lost in the first round. So, let's see. He finished with a record 8-4, and the Giants legend is currently 21st all time in playoff passing yards. He won 2 Super Bowl titles with New York, with both of them coming against Tom Brady and the heavily favored Patriots. Manning may not have been the flashiest of players, but he found ways to get the job done with the Giants time and time again. The end of his career in New York didn't go as planned, but no one can deny he was an incredible player. The man belongs in the Hall of Fame. Yep. I mean, you got to realize, not everybody winds up, doing a John Elway / Michael Strahan. You just win a Super Bowl and you just kind of walk off into the sunset. You're on the same team for the whole career, this, that, and the other thing. You win a Super Bowl, and very few players wind up doing that. Somewhere along the line, there's usually some type of a hiccup or something in your career and something, but it is what it is. But I mean, I hope they certainly want to find a way to get the guy in the Hall of Fame. Whether there was a first ballot Hall of Fame or not, whatever. Hopefully somewhere he gets himself in the Hall of Fame. But I said the thing about the Tiki Bar, I wish he would have just played. I mean, even besides winning a Super Bowl or something like that, if he could have played like 2 more seasons, I mean, you got over 2,000 yards, all-purpose yards in your final 3 seasons. Of course, he has to stay healthy. I get that. But, I mean, if he could have played 2007 and 2008, I think the 2018 was even better than 2017. But, I mean, if we could have had him, both those years, we could have maybe won 2 Super Bowls, and that's without Plexico Burress in 2008, right? But, I mean, if he could have played just 2 more seasons, he would have got himself a Super Bowl ring, right? And I said he probably would have had another 2,500 total yards between both seasons. Would have gave him about 18,000 yards. I mean, would have gave him, 10. They would gave him like 12,500 rushing yards. Would have gave him like 6,500 receiving yards. I mean, well, maybe not that much, but I mean, 6,000 receiving yards, maybe somewhere around there, or maybe 12,000 rushing yards, 6,000 receiving yards, or somewhere around. I mean, would he get like 18,000 altogether? I mean, that would be very tough to keep him out of the Pro Bowl, the Hall of Fame. But it is what that is. All right, then we saw. I saw this. This was pretty cool. There was one thing in there that showing. Obviously, there's the dreaded rub routes, right? But then there's another thing. It's called another concept. It's called the Banjo concept, and they were showing this on one thing that the Jacksonville Jaguars do this, and it's usually because when you get the rub concept, I mean, and there's always the offense comes up with something and then the defense counters it. You know what I mean? Then the offense has to come up with something and then the defense can. I mean, basically, it's it's the way it is, right? Well, I mean, so obviously with the rub route, I mean, you got a guy on the inside or however you want to do, a guy on the outside, and they basically they crisscross, right? So where they crisscross, get a little bit of a rub route in there, So the thing is for the offensive wide receiver, to get in there and as they're crossing, the one guy does the rubbing, it makes it look like he's getting in the way of the defender without making it look like he's actually getting in the way of the defender. Maybe getting in there and maybe drawing some contact with the defender, maybe to bump the defender off his intended route to keep up with the other wide. But maybe looking back at the quarterback with his hands up or something or what. You know what I mean? But so how do the defensive backs keep up with something like that? Well, I mean, there's one thing here, a banjo technique, which is something that the Jaguars wind up using as their defensive, on their defense. It says here, this is who we got here. Who is this? SB Nation. Oh, Nick Filato. Rub concept and banjo technique explained. Yeah, Nick Filato, he's a sharp dude, smart dude. New York Giants utilize many tactics to exploit defensive strategies and tendencies. One method to combat aggressive press man defense is to deploy a rub route concept, which probably 900 everybody in the pros winds up using something like that to one degree or the other. The object of a rub route is for one receiver to set a pick, like a basketball, or on a man covering defender, allowing the other receiver the space to break free, like Queen in the Works. I haven't seen that movie or whatever that is. I'm not exactly sure, but so a rub concept frequently draws yellow laundry when not executed properly. So you got to execute it properly, right? The receiver that runs the pick must display his hands, like maybe looking, he's running, but obviously out of one eye, he's, okay, this is the defender coming. Okay, I'm supposed to pick this guy, but I'm trying to look back at the quarterback, maybe showing my hands, maybe, like this, but maybe, trying to obviously get in the way of the defender, maybe not so much maybe getting contact, but at least knocking the guy off his route, make him kind of go around me, make him take an extra half a second or a split second to get around me, to give the wide receiver a split second to get him a little more wide open. Let's see. So the receiver runs the pick, must display his hands. Lest offensive pass interference may be called. He must act as if he's intended to receive a pass and not just Dennis Rodman, the defender. Dennis Rodman was a good defender, he was drawing charges, but also getting lots of rebounds. But he was good with his body, blocking people out and all that with his body. The calls that can be subjective based on official, so too much contact is risky. It says there's a play that shows. It says in play above, David Sills is executing the pick while Richie James is the design receiver. Sills forces the coverage defender to work over the top of his release, which gives James the space to pick up 8 yards on a 1st and 10. This is simple read for Daniel Jones to see how the defenders handle the concept. And it shows that as and Richie James winds up getting wide open. That Sills and James wind up crossing, and James is in the slot. He works his way outside, and Sills works the pick to almost perfection, and James is wide open over there. He's only like 2 yards down the field. Daniel Jones hits him, so we got to hit some yak after he catches the ball, but he's like wide open. I mean, in today's day and age and all that, he's out there in the flat. He's wide open. Daniel Jones hits him. So, let's see here. It says Jacksonville played this very well without switching responsibilities. Let's see here. There's a play when the Giants, So the Jaguars have 7 players in the box with a deep safety and 2 defenders covering Marcus Johnson and Wando Robinson to the field side here. Robinson ran a delayed release to allow Johnson to obstruct Darius Williams, number 31. But the Jacksonville did a very good job. Then the Giants ran an RPO, but the pre-snap check allowed Jones to make an easy read with the rub concept. If the rub is executed well, Robinson would have space to the outside. However, Williams is hardly impeded by Johnson's rub, and the cornerback made an impressive tackle on a well-adjusted catch by Robinson for only 1 yard. Yes, I mean, Jacksonville did a very good job at on the pick concept, but it said that was in the middle of the field. But it said despite the execution, Jacksonville changed its assignments in a similar situation in the end zone. On the 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line, the Giants attempted a different type of rub concept, with Sills releasing through the outside shoulder of the defender and signed to cover Robinson in man. If Jacksonville handled this route concept as it did in the other drive, where they basically stayed with their same guys, this would be an easy touchdown for Robinson. But the Jaguars used a Banjo concept to handle this threat. So basically what it is it's the guys, cover man and man, if this guy goes here, the guy covering goes with him. And if this guy here goes this way, the guy covering goes with him. But what here it is with the Banjo, the cornerback and the slot, they wind up switching. So if the guys try to cross each other, the guy in the slot and they take the guys, they don't take the guys that they initially covered. They after they wind up crossing each other, the receivers, the cornerbacks wind up switching, and they take the opposite guy. I mean, it's something that has to be done, absolutely instantly, especially because you're in the end zone. You got a guy that's open. All you got to do is throw the ball to him. He catches it. See, in the open field, I mean, if you got a rub route and the guy's open and he catches it 2 yards down the field, but you tackle him after 3 yards. Okay, he picks up 3 yards. Okay, now it's 2nd and 7 or whatever. But all he's got to do is in the end zone, catch that baby, it's 7 points or 6 points, right? So, but the Banjo technique is something that has to be done instantaneously. It's got to be done, it can't be no thinking about it, which makes it more important to get, good, coverage corners. Banjo coverage is a switch where the outside cornerback takes the number 2 receiver, the inside receiver, upon an outside release. And the inside cornerback handles the number 1 receiver upon an inside release. The man covering defenders switch responsibilities upon the receiver's releases. So if they try to, how many times do you see that in the end zone, right? You got 2 guys out wide. They want to run some type of pick, right? The one guy, the one guy is crossing, who's supposed to be running a pick, gets his hands up or whatever, looks back at the quarterback and somebody interferes with the defender. The other wide receiver winds up wide open in the end zone, just catches the ball, touchdown. So this Banjo technique is pretty interesting. It says in this Banjo technique, Robinson is quickly eliminated from the play and Jones throws the football out of bounds. Sills had a step on Williams, but the switch in coverage along with the presence of DeVonta Smith, who's putting down pressure on Daniel Jones, forced the toss away. Here's how the Banjo switch operates in an illustrated form. So if you're interested in this, is says SB Nation, Nick Filato talks about it. So I said, this, how many times, honestly, have you seen that in the end zone, right? Where all you got to do is run a little pick pattern, make where, you're not, doing it on purpose, but you really are, right? So you got to do it without really doing it. But I mean, if it's properly done, how many times then you wind up seeing a wide receiver open? Right. And all you got to do is just catch it. You're in the end zone. It's a touchdown. You don't have to worry about no yak yards or nothing like that. Or, if it's 3rd down and 8, you got to, catch it 3 yards down the field and you got to try to get another 5 yards on. But as I said, the Banjo technique, as soon as they go to cross, the two cornerbacks switch responsibilities. So, I mean, it's not obviously not the easiest thing to do. It's got to be done on an instant, but, it can be a very good tactic you use on defense. But once again, it also kind of goes to show you how the importance of having good cornerbacks, good corner play, good, smart, tough, and dependable, right? Cornerback play. So that was very, very interesting there. Then let's see here. Once again, I got 3,000. Okay. Oh yeah. Our man here, Kadarius Toney. And this is almost like eerie looking. I mean, once again, he's talking smack about the Giants once again. I mean, all you see is his white teeth. And I guess it looks like some gold chains. I don't know why he's doing it. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like he's a 2-year-old child or something like that. He's just, I mean, I wish somebody would let him know, like, the more he does this, the worse it's actually, what I mean? It is for him, really. He's trying to get back at the Giants because Giant fans go back at him, and then he lets something else out that gets back at the Giant fans, and then it's like back and forth. But he's got to understand. I mean, this looks bad for him. And he's burning bridges here, right? And he's saying, I think he said the N word in here. I don't mean if he said the F word in there too. He's, it wasn't my decision to be traded. I just came here, and I'm sorry, this ring ain't blue and white or something like that. It's red and white or something like that. And I love these people here, and I love them. So it's just, but it's really, really eerie because you don't even really see him. It's the black video, and all you see is teeth and like these chains. So as he's talking, all you see is these teeth just kind of go up and down and all that. It's kind of eerie looking. But I mean, once again, he's showing his childishness here. It says, despite catching a Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs and boasting a promising outlook heading into the 2023 season, wide receiver Kadarius Toney cannot quit taking jabs at his former team and their fan base. The former New York Giants first-round selection recently took to social media once again to unload a NSFW rant. Not sure what that means. Directed at the franchise and their faithful. Of course, this isn't the first time Toney's taken aim at the G-Men. A few weeks back, the Florida product was captured on video flipping the bird as he shared a not-so-endearing message to the Giants and their fans. Yes, I mean, it's just just totally classless. Absolutely totally classless. Usually what comes around goes around. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, it's just amazing. It just, So, I mean, and almost in a way, he thinks he's getting over and this, that, and the other thing. But honestly, I really feel sorry for the guy. I mean, there's, he needs to grow up. Really needs somebody to latch on to him. I mean, somebody like a father figure or something like that, and just say, dude, what are you doing? Really, what are you doing? I mean, he's young. Everybody makes mistakes, this, that, and the other thing. But it'd be nice if somewhere along the line he actually grows up. But burning bridges in the NFL is not a good thing to do. I mean, as I said, social media can be very, very, very a wonderful thing, absolutely wonderful thing, but it can also be your worst enemy. And far too many guys like him wind up getting in, just trouble or whatever you want to call it, using social media, to take jabs at other people and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's very childish, very, very childish. And then I saw, I mean, you got Coach Prime, shall we say, right? He's adding to his, he's adding a good one. I mean, not a good coach, not a good head coach, but a good offensive mind to his staff. Former Giants head coach Pat Shurmur is returning to the college ranks to join Coach Prime staff at the University of Colorado. Shurmur, the Giants head coach in 2018 and 19, was last with the Denver Broncos as their offensive coordinator in 2021. After a year away from the game, the 58-year-old is going back to the college ranks for the first time since 1998. Wow, 25 years. Wow, didn't realize that. When he was the offensive line coach at Stanford. According to Mike Kliss in Denver, Shurmur will serve as an offensive analyst, on Sanders' staff, joining another former NFL coach in Mike Zimmer, who was on Sanders' staff at Jackson before joining him in Boulder with the Buffaloes. So Mike Zimmer was with Coach Prime, and now he's still Coach Prime. Shurmur compiled a 9-23 record in 2 seasons with the Giants. He also compiled, I believe, was the 9-23 record in his 2 seasons coaching the Cleveland Browns. So what would that be? My spider senses tell me that would be 18-46. Not too good, but he does have a good offensive mind, right? I mean, let's not forget, right? I mean, I mean, not a phenomenal offensive line, right? But all that stuff and everything. Daniel Jones had 24 touchdown passes. I mean, he had 12 interceptions. He had 24 and 12 his rookie season. He started 12 games. 12 games, he had 24 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, 1,782 fumbles. I get that. I get it. One more time. I get it. But, he did get 24 touchdown passes from Daniel Jones in 12 games. So 2 touchdown passes a game. Last year, the one that earned him the $40 million a year, he had less than 1 touchdown pass a game. So, but once again, he had the 15 touchdown, but he only had the 5 interceptions, and his fumbles were way down too. But as I said, Shurmur, you got to give him a little bit of credit there. As I said, because the 24 touchdown passes he got from Daniel Jones in his rookie season. All right. And then we got Anthony Blevins, the Giants special teams coordinator, has been named the head coach of the Vegas Vipers in the XFL. Following a nationwide search, we are proud to introduce Anthony Blevins as the head coach of the Vipers. Wow. Said the XFL president, Russ Brandon. Our players will have an incredible opportunity to learn from a coach with NFL and NCAA experience, and we look forward to seeing his impact on the field and in the locker room. Well, I'll be pulling for them. Anthony's talent and potential were evident throughout the interview process and in speaking with some coaches, staff, and former players from the New York Giants. It was clear that he knows how to connect with players and staff, said Executive Vice President of Football Operations Mark Ross, the Giants' former Vice President of Player Personnel. We got Hia. He's a very bright coach who made stops at every level of football, from coaching high school in Atlanta to the Giants with collegiate and NFL stops in between. On top of his coaching experience, he knows what opportunity our league can provide to players and staff. Blevin served as the assistant special teams coach for the Giants last season under head coach Brian Daboll, also having served in that role for the Giants from 2018 to 2019. Excuse me. He was an assistant linebackers coach in 2021 and the assistant defensive backs coach in 2020. So, he's got some wealth of talent. He's coached multiple different, position groups, and also, hey, best of luck to him. I didn't even know. Didn't know he was, interviewing or anything like that. But best of luck to him. And just before we go, I just want to give a little shout out here, unfortunately, to Johnny Cooks, the number 2 overall pick in the 19, which is kind of odd because you figure the number 2 overall pick in the 81 draft was the GOAT. The number 2 overall pick in the 1982 draft was Johnny Cooks. He passed away at the young age of 64. Then we got it. Johnny Cooks is without question among the very best to ever put on the maroon and white, while also standing as one of the most decorated college football players of his era, said Mississippi State Athletic Director Zach Selman in a statement per CBS Sports. What we got here? Cooks retired after the 1991 season after 10 years. It's a nice career. He truly did it all in his career, from earning accolade after accolade as a Bulldog to winning a Super Bowl in the NFL. Johnny will be remembered forever in Starkville as he is cemented as a Mississippi State legend, university legend. Cooks joined the Giants after being released by the Colts in 1998. In his second to last NFL season, Cooks helped New York win its second Super Bowl championship in 1990 by beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-19. Tampa Bay Buccaneers by beating the Buffalo Bills 2019 in Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. That's right. It's like Tampa Stadium. So that's why I said Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just want to give just thoughts and prayers and everything like that to his family. Once again, to me, once a Giant, always a Giant, right? So very, very lucky. A good quality player. He was in there when some guys were injured, so he got some playing time. And once again, he's another one of those pieces to the puzzle that the Giants had during that era that really made them super special. So thoughts and prayers to the Johnny Cooks family. So, and unfortunately passing away at the age of 64. Way too young. So, well, guys, that pretty much wraps it up here 44 minutes going strong. Whoever spent any time watching me, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. As always, I greatly appreciate it. I can use all the support I can get, guys. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.